3, 2, 1, go ahead. What were your expectations going into the Ted's family retreat?
My expectations going into the week were that I was going to get healthy, but maybe not in a way that would be
You gotta say, enjoyable.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be enjoyable. That I would be forced to eat food that I don't normally eat, exercise in a way that I don't normally exercise, kumbaya, whatever you want to say. But I was surprised that it wasn't. I ate good food. I exercised not only emotionally, but physically. My kids exercised emotionally and physically. The expectations that they had at the end of the day, we went to bed peaceful. We didn't go to bed anxious. We didn't worry about what was going to happen the next day. And as each day went along, it was a smoother flow. And each day then we woke up refreshed. We woke up, hey, we're going to start the day like this, whether it was qigong or a walk or whatever we were going to do. We knew the schedule for the rest of the day. There were no surprises, and it flowed.
Perfect. And, for you, what were some of the challenges or obstacles or limits you and or your family faced coming into the week?
Well, I have a child with a disease. I have a child that had cancer and a continuing disease. I have a very healthy older child that I'm ridden with guilt that I've ignored, and because she doesn't need any help. And I have a younger one that needs a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of those has a different personality, and bringing them someplace like this, I don't know what my expectations were. My expectations, I guess, came off the sick child, or the diseased child that has been doing this since February now, and she has thrived. She has learned to cope. She is now ranked in our region tennis, where she couldn't even get on a court before. But now I have an older child who's been ignored, and there's guilt there, and she has all the physical being of a great athlete, a great person, very smart, and we need help there. And so my week was more focused on her than the other one, although the other one now has not only an expanded base, but has climbed the mountain and keeps climbing.
Awesome. And, moving forward, how do you think that the things that you've learned during the week will help your family as a whole, whether it's, with health, communication, relationships? How do you see your family benefiting from what you've learned this week?
Communication is a huge thing, to be able to open up to what we've learned, all be on the same path with eating. We've made major changes this February when I first met Sean and you. And to continue with that part of it is huge. But also to bring my other kids into what we've learned and to move forward with it and have everybody on the same page so that we are kind of moving as one unit.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? We all have an understanding of why we have to do it. And throughout the week we understand, you know what, there's a huge benefit to it.
Mm-hmm.
A huge benefit to it. Even the little one here, wouldn't eat the food at the beginning of the week because it looked funny. And what did she say last night at dinner? Oh, this is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Just those changing habits. But I think moving forward too, with my girls especially, I think it brings us closer. I do. I think we all have a goal in mind and learn that our faults aren't criticisms. Our faults can be used as ways to get better and help each other get better by not pointing out a fault, but by pointing out something that we can improve on.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one, just what would you say to any families who are, whether they're struggling with, a major issue like your family was, or they simply want to have a better, healthier life? What would you say to any families who are, considering something like this? What would you say to them from a mother's perspective of why this is powerful and important?
First of all, I'd correct you. I think that any issue in your family is a major issue because I believe that's a huge structure. I think whether somebody has cancer, an ongoing disease, something, or they have a kid that is not participating socially or doesn't feel like they fit in, I don't think you can belittle that, and that's not what I learned here. I learned that everybody has their issue, And you can't belittle or stack somebody else's issue or make one greater than the other. Everybody has it. And you know what? If you're fraught and you can't figure it out, and even if your kid, you know, doesn't fit in, or you don't think they do, or they lost their forehand, like, you know, somebody here this week, it's a huge issue. And as a parent, you have guilt that you can't control that and do that. Then you realize as you come here, your own child has that power within them to fix it. You have to encourage it. Yep, you have to facilitate it. But if you don't come to a place like this, sometimes you go to psychologists. I've been to psychologists to help a sick child and to help my family out. Guess what? It didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. I had to find a way where we could all do it together, and that they have the power within them to do it. And that's huge.
Perfect. Awesome.